recording Chapter 5 of Castlevania Bloodlines. And as you can see, we are in Versailles Palace, France. So, okay. I'm going to see a lot of greenery here. That's very cool. Ooh, giant roses, what the fuck? Alright. Well, they are known for their flowers here. Oh. Well, wouldn't you know it, that crap coming out of the roses is poison. Well, that's kind of neat. Let's see here. We got those stupid Donkey Kong Jr. things. Now this is kind of a cool aspect of this this game in the series, how it's kind of an intercontinental European. Holy fuck. That was metal as hell right there. Kind of an intercontinental European road trip to kill Dracula, which I think is what every boy wants in his heart. And there's those infamous red skeletons I mentioned in the last video. Oh, some kind of weird mantis thingy. That sucks. But not too bad. I love those red skeletons and a freaking fountain of blood. How rock and roll is that? And kind of a pain in the ass. But that's, you know, nothing I can't get over. Damn it. So I finally completely moved over to Adobe Premiere Elements 15 or something like that over the cheapo free trial software I was using. Vid some bullshit or something, I don't remember what it was. Anyways, this is much better and it's much easier to edit footage, so it's a much more pleasurable viewing experience for your tender virgin eyes. And we see some cool little sun-dappled effects here. I really enjoy that. You know, I'm in my leisure time playing Resident Evil 7 right now, and that does these god rays like nobody else. And this is kind of a little reminder of what I could be playing right now. I guess this is this game's version of the axe armor, which is pretty cool. Everybody I know of loves axe armor. It's always a welcome addition to any Castlevania party. The level design in this level is really neat. I mean, cool setting. I never thought I'd be visiting the Versailles Palace in frickin' Castlevania. Now that's kind of weird. It's just sitting here in the foreground, blocking my progress, not really having any part of anything to do with anything. Simple enough. I don't understand why they even put that there. It's not like it's going to stop anybody. Oh, this is kind of neat. I love that giant freaking heavy metal satanic altar. That's rad as hell. These dudes aren't too hard to figure out. So there are definitely branching paths in this game depending on the character you're playing. And I'm willing to bet every level has at least something, or maybe every few levels. This level is the second distinct one I've found that has a different path for Jonathan and Eric, or whatever the hell this guy's name is. You know, I'm going up here, but if I had continued on forward, there's a part where I can only access by a whip swing. So that's kind of neat. I'd imagine Eric's parts are probably a bit more difficult to compensate for his increased mobility and reach. Ah, fuck this guy. There's no way to get him without fucking taking a bunch of hits. Which I'm going to anyways. Well, this is neat. And the infamous flea men. You know, it's been a part of Castlevania lore as long as I can remember. On the NES version, we used to think they were little Igors. If memory serves, back then they first appeared with Frankenstein's monster, which so far has not made an appearance in this game, while most of the Castlevania Rogues Gallery have. Hopefully he'll appear at some point. Wouldn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense, but maybe one of the levels is Geneva or something. Okay, let's get the hell away from these vulture dudes. Well, this is kind of neat. There goes that Genesis rotation I'm learning to love. Cool stained glass background, I can appreciate that. Oh, some kind of arrow knight bullshit. Seems those arrows are a bit overkill. Oh, a boomerang, that's always fun. Some kind of mallet knight, I guess. Not the end of the world. All kinds of, you know, the battlefields of World War I were friggin' rotten with mechanized rolly guys and machine gun dudes with machine gun arms. Oh my god. It's the famous double Socrates. So the trick to this dude wasn't too hard to figure out. It's just a simple pattern. I think playing these old games is kind of helping my pattern recognition. I don't just keep charging blindly into the breach, dying repeatedly until eventually that my human wave technique conquers all. I think I'm finally starting to see these patterns and kind of work through them. For the most part. You know, it's kind of a weird choice of a boss for a Castlevania game, considering that, I mean, they have a famous boss that is a mask anyways. Was it Carmilla, I think? Yeah, Carmilla. She's a famous mask boss that a lot of the games in the series have. It's kind of weird that if you're going to have some, like, stone-ass faces appearing, like, floating in the friggin' air, you don't just go with Carmilla. Which is, you know, Carmilla is a famous, like, lesbian erotic vampire novel written, like, actually, well, before, I mean, actually predates Stoker's Dracula. And it's pretty cool. So we got this dude by the tail. I'm not even, you know, there's like no hit registration, like when you do damage to him, so it's kind of messed up. How do you even know you're hurting him if you don't notice his life bar going down? Well, that's neither here nor there, I guess. In a lot of ways, this game does remind me of Portrait of Ruin, because it doesn't all take place in Dracula's castle, you know? It takes you to a lot of different locations that are like kind of Dracula adjacent, like spooky little palaces and crap that aren't quite Dracula's castle. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love, you know, like particularly the DS and GBA games that do take primarily place in Dracula's castle. But it's nice to have a little variety tossed in. I'd say Portrait of Ruin is probably one of my favorite games in the series. I mean, of course, I love Symphony of the Night, just like any red-blooded human being who's played it, but I've played it so much, you kind of get burned out. I think maybe in a few years I might be okay for a playthrough. I'll tell you one thing I've always wanted to play, and which maybe I'll do a series on at some point, is the TurboGrafx 16 or the PC Engine version of Rondo of Blood. That always looked really neat, and I know there was a Super Nintendo version, but I hear it really sucks comparatively. The TG16 is kind of like a system that's always kind of lived in mystery and legend to me. I've never seen one in real life, and black and orange are my favorite colors, and that's kind of the colors of the console. And you know, it's like when the 16-bit era was first coming to be with the Genesis and the TG16, I used to look at the covers and issues of Video Games and Computer Entertainment magazine, and like Lust After Legendary Axe and JJ and Jeff, and like Fighting Street, which is the only home version of Street Fighter 1. And just yesterday I learned that there's a really badass version of Double Dragon on the TG16. And I've always wanted to own one, or at least find a like decent, easy, reliable emulator for it. And I would totally love to play Rondo of Blood and just a million different friggin' TG16 games. Well, guys, this is stage 5 of Bloodlines, Castlevania Bloodlines, cleared. This is your buddy Horseticuffs thanking you. Over and out.